Alright, what up YouTube? This is a two-parter. I want to talk about some contradictions that I've seen developing, but I'm more so the person just to wait and let things play out. I actually listen. The beauty about my channel is I'm able to honestly read all my comments and, read the PMs and respond to the comments that are worth responding to. So I pretty much read everything. Only for a couple of videos where, some people get into some, heavy dialogue, and I'm like, well, they're not so much talking to me, they're more so talking to each other. So I don't necessarily read those, but I read everything. Or at least the ones that YouTube tells me that's been posted. YouTube, they suck. They still haven't got the whole comment posting thing correct. Somebody will post a comment and you won't even know, or they're responding to something you said but they don't post it under your comment, so you guys know how it is. Or sometimes they won't even post it at all. But I'm able to keep up. So the first contradiction that I want to talk about is the whole idea of I'm being overlooked, and the whole idea of the men not checking for me, or the whole idea of I'm being overlooked, versus the whole idea of, black men need to step their game up, and, I was caught in a bad relationship and I sacrificed for him, right? Now, you'll hear the women say they're not being approached by the right type of dudes. Fine. Then they'll turn around and talk about how they've been in bad relationships, they've got played, they've got done dirty. And my response to that is, then you weren't single to begin with, right? You can't talk about you being in a bad relationship, but then how you're not being approached by the right type of black dude. It doesn't work that way. You're in a relationship, whether or not it's productive, that's irrelevant. So you're not in that whole, 42% of, single black women, that whole ABC, Oprah Winfrey type of grouping. You're not part of that. Whether you're married to the dude or you're dating him, if you are in some sort of relationship with him, you're not included. What kills me is the women still have this whole LL Cool J type of fantasy where, the dude who's on point is supposed to come steal you away, from the man who's not, he's either a bum dude or, he may have money, but he's not treating you correctly, and you're supposed to swoop in like LL Cool J, with the Kango hat on, or the Yankee fitted on, and the smooth sunglasses, and the Mercedes coupe, and you're just supposed to swoop her up and, take her off, and you're just riding off into the wind and everything, and then the movie just ends, right? A lot of women have that fantasy, but in reality, you're in a relationship, right? And a dude is not going to come in on some, I'm going to try to, steal you away, okay? And unfortunately, the sad thing is, this is the case for a lot of black dudes. When I think back and I just think about life, I realize that, a lot of the dudes I knew or know, including myself, rarely can we recall an event where we've talked to a chick that was not involved in a relationship, right? Or didn't have some sort of, strings attached. Even now, with the whole idea of, well, we're working things out, but I mean, this, that, and third, and, rarely is it just flat out, I'm single. And the sad thing about it is, psychologically, it's damaging, right? Because in a sense, she's cheating on the boyfriend. Whether or not he's on point, whether or not, he's doing her dirty, she's still cheating. So as a dude, I think subconsciously, that registers. Like I said before, if a dude is caught up in a bad relationship, right, and he's trying to, see what's going on with other women, what happens? He's instantly a player. He's trying to manipulate the situation. He's untrustworthy, all that other good stuff. He gets labeled all those things, even if he's in a bad relationship himself. She could be cheating on him, doing him dirty, but, if he has this mindset that, let me figure out what's with something else, but he's still in some sort of relationship, he's a player, right? But when it's with the women, somehow that's how it's supposed to be. No, my friend, it's almost cheating, right? You know, you can spin it how you want to spin it, but in terms of my definition, it's cheating. So in a sense, she's cheating on you, him to be with you. So who's to say that she won't do it again? And the sad thing is, I've seen dudes get in relationships with girls, break up, and literally a week or a couple of days later, they're with a new dude. That dude isn't brand new. He was there. And that's the sad thing about it. So when you thought you were getting off the phone with her, or that, you know, she was done kicking it with you, she was talking to him as well. Right? You know, a lot of dudes have this idea that I can, you know, steal her away, but it's not going to happen to me. Like I said before, if he's doing you dirty, break up with her. Or break up with him, excuse me. You know, if he's not handling his business, break up. Because dudes who are productive and dudes who, you know, understand how the game works, we're not going to approach you. Right? If I'm in a bad relationship with a chick, what's going to happen? Just break up with her. Right? Why keep her around? Why are you trying to include me? Right? And, you know, of course, and when dudes try to do it, you get the whole player, you trying to be, you know, manipulate the situation. Right? I'm not saying that it's wrong. Yeah, you have brothers that do that. So, it makes sense to say, yo, I understand your bad relationship, my friend, but you need to break up with her. If you're trying to be with me, break up with her and see what's going on. But with the women, they don't have that sort of understanding. So you have women who will talk about how they're not being checked for, they're being passed over, they're not good enough, but you have a boyfriend. That's the sad thing about it. And even when some of these dudes are on some, well, let me try to holler anyways, rarely do the women even break up. They just go with the whole, I got two dudes, right? You know, all these chicks who, and I had a couple people made the comment, you know, with the whole, you know, we're single, independent black women. How many of these women have dudes that they may just be sleeping with, right? Or, you know, dudes that they may see on the side. You know, I'll be the other woman, right? You know, how many of these women are actually have relationships with men who are already married? So they're the mistress, right? How many of them? But anyways, let me make my next point. And even with the dudes themselves, the sad thing is, a lot of these dudes who's down and out, right, they know when they have a good thing, right? I saw it all the time in college. You'll have the chick who's in school and the boyfriend ain't doing shit, but he's just always there. Or even now, you know, you'll have a chick who's maybe working and he's always at the job picking her up or doing something, you know. Pretty much, he's pretty much her servant. He does whatever. Because he's come to realize that in reality, he has no other alternative. If she leaves him, he has nothing. So these dudes is probably the most dangerous type of dudes. Right, in regards to you're trying to, you know, step through and he's like, yo, you know, you need to back up, son. You need to back up, player. This is mine. This is mine. Blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, you can have an issue. Seen it happen before. I've seen the down and out boyfriend try to fight somebody. I've seen the down and out boyfriend pull a gun out on somebody, all for some chick. Seen it. So like I said, at the end of the day, even if you were on this whole let me come to the rescue, she's probably not even going to leave the dude to begin with. And she'll just go with the whole, you know, this is my boyfriend that I get this from, and this is my boyfriend that I may get sex from, and all this other good stuff. You know, for us, it was more so, this is my boyfriend Monday through Thursday, including Sunday afternoons, but Friday and Saturday, then I have the weekend boyfriend, right? So she never even left the, you know, the dude that wasn't, you know, holding it down, so to speak. So, you know, anyways, it's a big contradiction. You know, you can't come on and talk about how you're not being approached or how you're being overlooked, but then talk about bad relationships or how you got caught up on all this other good stuff. And there's an overlap in time, right? There's a definite overlap in time. Right? And like I said before, this is just based off of me listening to what you guys have to say. Just flat out listening. Okay, so you got done dirty. You tried, you tried to work it out, but he didn't come along. Fine, I can accept that. But then to come on and say that you've been overlooked and you get passed over and a decent black man are going off for the white girl, I'm like, you weren't even available to begin with, so how can you complain? Give me that whole LL Cool J, you're supposed to, be a man, and if you're a man, I'll naturally gravitate towards you, and I'll leave the dude who's unproductive because you're so productive. It doesn't happen. That is an ideal fantasy, right? But in reality, it doesn't play out that way. And a lot of dudes learn that lesson the hard way. So, I'll do part 2 next. This was part 1. Take it easy. God bless.